Weight gain or weight change is something that happens to everybody throughout our lives, but why do we feel so guilty when it happens to us? I'm Sarah, I'm a professional body image coach, and today we're going to talk about how to navigate those negative thoughts about needing to lose weight or change your body, especially when you go through periods of transition, like move, changing jobs, changes in your social life or relationships, anything like that where a big part of your life changes, because these thoughts tend to come on extra strong in those moments. And because they're so strong, we often think that they must be right, but in reality, honoring those negative body thoughts is not always what's best for our long-term physical health or mental health. So what do you do instead? Let's discuss. I've noticed this pattern a lot in my clients, and I've also experienced it in life myself as somebody who's moved from country to country a couple times now. Whenever I move, I'm getting settled in a new place, usually one that's very different from what I'm used to, and I start to feel those thoughts creep back in of, I don't look good enough, I need to be smaller, I'm not working out enough, I'm not eating healthy enough, all of these thoughts related to what I look like. Maybe you've traveled abroad and your weight has changed, whether you've lost weight or gained weight because you're eating different food. Maybe you've gone through a stressful period of work where you haven't had time to move your body or cook at home. Maybe you've gone through a breakup or you've entered a new relationship, and whether it's a good or a challenging experience, your weight has changed. These are all extremely common experiences, and therefore you need to have the tools to work through the negative thoughts that come up around your body in those moments. Now for me, the first time I really noticed that this was a pattern and not just some thoughts I was having in the moment was when I first moved to Bali, Indonesia from America. I moved in the middle of January in America, which is very cold. It's the winter month. I'm not doing a lot outside and my social life isn't very active, to Bali in the tropics where it was very warm. There was a lot of people around me, not to mention a lot of people who were sun-kissed and tan, living in bikinis, and a lot of them were a lot smaller than me. Being in a new place, I was super intimidated because I didn't speak the language. I didn't know how to use the currency. I didn't even know where to go to get food or groceries. And I didn't have any friends. I was completely new. And I heard all of these thoughts around my body creep in that period of transition, in those first weeks of stress, saying things like, you need to lose weight if you want men to think that you're attractive here, or you need to be smaller or be more fit or more toned if you want women to want to be your friend and hang out with you and respect you. Having all of those thoughts swirling around in your brain is very intimidating, and a lot of times when they're so loud, we can feel tempted to give in to them. But the reason I recognized that this was a pattern was that this wasn't the first time that these thoughts had been so loud. I want you to think back to moments when your own negative body thoughts have been the loudest, and ask yourself what else was going on in your life in the background at that time. Had you just started a new school year or a really stressful lab work course? Had you just changed jobs and were getting used to a new environment? Were you entering or exiting a relationship and therefore your daily life and your emotional state were completely changing? Regardless of the exact circumstances you were experiencing in that moment, we need to understand what was propelling you to have those thoughts. It wasn't so much the change in relationship or job or location itself. It was the fact that in a period of transition, we often feel out of control. A major part of your daily life has just completely changed. And even if it's a positive change, that can make us feel like we're not in control of our present. And so it's no coincidence that these thoughts of trying to control your body size pop up when you feel out of control in other areas of life. Understanding this in myself was life-changing in that moment when I was first in Bali, trying to understand why I had such negative body image all of a sudden. I had gotten on the plane to move to this beautiful country, feeling so excited and so grounded in myself. And all of a sudden I have all of these thoughts of, you need to go to boot camp classes and diet and not wear string bikinis, and it really didn't make me feel good. Understanding that these thoughts come from a desire for control, and that one of the easiest ways for us to control ourselves in this life is to control your movement practice or your food, therefore your body. Understanding that allows you to shift the negative thoughts from a place of believing them because we think that they're true, to recognizing that although they're trying to protect us and keep us safe in a way, they don't serve us. Because those negative thoughts are just trying to make sure that you survive this transition. However, they're not the best survival mechanism that you have. So you're in a period of transition, you recognize that you're stressed out, that your body image is suffering. What do you do instead of giving into the thoughts of needing to diet more or exercise more or change your body in some other way? You need to look for control from a healthful source. You need to take that need for control and find it in other places. Because of the diet culture and the society that we live in, it's not surprising that your automatic go-to when you're looking for control is to control what you're eating or how you're moving or what you look like in some way. That is what we've been taught we should do when we're not satisfied. However, if you're watching this, you can also recognize that line of thinking probably isn't the best thing for you, so we can seek that control in a more positive source. If you need to control some aspect of your eating or your movement, how can you move your body or eat in a way that honors your body and shows your self-respect? How can you take control of balancing your nutrition and your satisfaction in your meals? How can you take control of filling your grocery cart with a combination of foods that fuel your body and fuel your mind and satisfaction? How can you control the fact that you're going to continue to socialize and go out with friends and eat what you want and honor cravings, even though you know that when you're stressed out, you tend to close yourself off? How can you control your approach to movement by doing movement that's good for both your body and soul, like yoga or running or walking or taking a rest day? It's not so much the action itself that's going to give you that feeling of control, it's the intention behind it and recognizing I am in control. I can choose whether I do this or not and why I do it. You can also take control of your mental health by doing things like journaling, going to therapy, doing a crossword puzzle, allowing yourself to sleep in, giving yourself a self-care day, whatever it is that you need to do to remind yourself that you're a priority and you deserve to feel good. I know a lot of this is easier said than done, so if you're still feeling down on yourself for having these thoughts in the first place, I need you to ground yourself and remind yourself that having these thought patterns of jumping to weight loss or dieting when you're in a stressful time is a pattern that was taught to you, but it's also something that you can break. You can reestablish your own new patterns. Thoughts do not have to become behaviors. Now, one of the ways to really solidify that mantra is to have a rock solid approach to self-talk, and that's something that I teach all of my clients. The self-talk formula that I teach is 4 steps. It allows you to understand exactly where that self-talk, that negative thought is coming from, and then actually respond to it and make this a habit within your brain so that every single day you're responding to the negative thoughts instead of embodying them or just trying to push them off and not think about them. When I work with my clients, I also teach them how to have really strong, confident, clear approaches to movement and nutrition so that you know that you're making choices for your physical wellness that also honor your mental wellness and your journey to having stronger body image and more self-love. Because those two things don't have to oppose each other. You don't have to sacrifice nutrition for food mindset and food freedom, and you don't have to sacrifice joyful movement for fitness and being toned and in shape. Now, the way that we do that is having really intentional action steps. I use a workbook with all of my clients. We also have weekly meetings or bi-weekly meetings, and we also have group chats or private messaging so that they have me on the go whenever you need me and you need to work through something in real time. This allows you to have confidence in why you're doing what you're doing so that whenever you have these thoughts come up again, especially in a period of stress or transition, you're able to ground yourself and say, no, I'm going to make nutritious choices or move my body out of a place of self-love, not because I feel tempted to control my body or find control in other areas. If finding that balance between self-love and wellness, between needing control and seeking it in healthy places, still sounds like something that's out of your reach, I am running a new cohort of my group program, the Dream Girl Circle, this fall, and I'm taking applications for it now. It is my most affordable coaching option, and it's also one of my favorites because you get expertise and one-on-one coaching from me, but you also get this group environment that allows you to connect with people who are in the same space as you, which is just so, and also so constructive for your growth because you're sharing all of your wins, all of your questions with people who have been there too. Having the combination of action and strategy from a coach and community and validation from the group is one of the things that makes this such a successful program for all of my clients. It's okay. In fact, it's so normal to need outside support in this area of your life. So much of what we've learned has existed within us for years and years, and so of course it takes some deep unlearning to get out of us and realign our mindsets. And that's why people like me exist as your coach. So if doing deeper work in this area is a step that you're ready to take, make sure you check out the description, click that link for the Dream Girl Circle, and apply before the seats fill. And I'll also make sure that my email is in the description of the video if you want to reach out to me about private or one-on-one coaching as well. If you have questions or comments on this video, or there's a specific topic that you want to hear me talk about as well, make sure you leave a comment comment, subscribe, or send me a message on Instagram and ask me your question there too. Let me know that you came from this video so that I know. Or send me a message on Instagram too and let me know what your questions are so that I can help you with this. This is what I am here for. And as always, show your body and your mind a little bit of extra care and compassion today. You deserve it.